Hello and welcome to Lakeshore Academy. Today I want to talk to you about curriculum and how to know what curriculum to pick because there are so many different choices out there and it can become very overwhelming, especially if you're new to homeschooling and it's your first year and you're trying to figure out, what do I do? Should I do this? What is curriculum? What should I do with the curriculum? Should I buy a box curriculum where everything is already prepared for me? Should I build my own curriculum around all the core subjects that we have to hit in order to be a legal homeschool? What should I do? Should I do it online? The best advice that I can give you is that every single homeschool is different and every child within a homeschool is different. Like, for example, I have two children. Each child has their own way of learning. Now, ideally, I wouldn't mind if my children can learn the same thing the same way all the time. I can just buy one curriculum and it will suit and fit the needs and benefit both of them. But that's not the case. And usually that's not the case with a lot of people. The problem that I had to learn to do is not try to make the curriculum fit my child or make something that I absolutely love. Like, I was absolutely in love with a certain curriculum and I was like, this has got to work. I saw the reviews, I read all the testimonials. It has to work because this is the best out there for this particular subject and it's gonna work. Okay, well, I used that curriculum for example, I used that curriculum for my daughter. Let's just talk about one subject, math. Teaching textbooks. That was the greatest, best thing since white bread. Everybody talked about it. All the moms, homeschool moms, this was the best math curriculum, da 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 da. If your child had a problem with math, you don't even have to teach it if you have problems with math. And so I purchased it. And I just knew this was going to work for both of my kids. And ideally, I was hoping it did, but this is reality. And it did not, because I have two children that learn two different ways. That has two different set of needs that they need. So it fit fine for my very interactive, learning, autistic, dyslexic learning son. My son is very, very bright, very, very intelligent. And he loves it because he's a technology person. He loves anything that's on the computer, like that's entertaining but yet learning at the same time. So teaching textbooks works superbly for him. Bought the teaching textbooks for my son and my daughter. But guess what? My daughter, she does it and she cannot stand teaching textbooks. She do not understand teaching textbooks with some of the formats and stuff like that. So it was very, very difficult for her. Although she still will use it because she's not one of those children that complain about stuff. She'll just go ahead and just push right on through. I saw where it was just stressing her out. So I was like, what am I going to do? I don't have the money at that time to buy her another curriculum. So I'm just going to make this curriculum work. We're going to drill it. She's going to do it. Got very little out of it, to be truthfully honest, with her with teaching textbook. Whereas my son just skyrocketed. So I heard about this new math textbook called Learn Math Fast. And I kid you not, this has been a breakthrough for my daughter. Now, for my son, Learn Math Fast, he really liked the more interactive visual because he's a visual and audio learner. So he really prefers teaching textbooks. But if I read out everything and then he does it with me doing the audio, like reading everything, he does fine with that. But my daughter skyrocketed with Learn Math Facts. So I had to get into my mind that you cannot make a curriculum fit your child. You have to find a curriculum that suits your child. So don't try to put them in this little box, because as parents, sometimes we want things to be the way we want it or the way we think it should go in our homeschool, and that's not necessarily the way that it should go. So my little advice for you is just try to learn the way your child learns. Try to really sit back, because last year I just sat back and I really observed my kids a lot when they was doing their work. And then I also observed them when it wasn't school time and they were just going on with their daily activities. I was watching how they interact, how they do certain things, and I learned a lot on watching them, how they played, the different things that they did. And I said, I'm gonna try to tailor their education around the way they learn, their likes and their dislikes. I'm gonna try to tailor it around the way they learn. And I kid you not, this year has been one of the best homeschooling years that I have ever had, because I have stopped trying to make a curriculum that I bought, make it work for them when it wasn't working. But on the other hand, we have the downside of this. Sometimes what we're doing in our homeschool is going perfectly fine, but then we see a YouTube video or we see a testimonial about a certain subject or whatever, another curriculum, and we decide, oh, I'm going to try this curriculum because everybody said this is a wonderful curriculum to do. If your curriculum or whatever you're doing in your homeschool and your child is learning and they're doing well with it, don't change it. It stresses the child out. It stresses you out because you taking away what they're doing well at, and you forcing them to do another curriculum when there's no need to do another curriculum. So that's one thing that I'm learning, because it's so much out there that sometimes you feel like if you're not doing whatever the next big thing is, that you're failing your children in some way. But you're not, because if your child is learning well with the process or the process or the curriculum that you already have, keep it, use it, enjoy it. You will have less stressful days if you do it. But, however, if you have a curriculum that's not working, please stop it, because the children are not going to get anything out of that curriculum. Figure out how they learn, take a break, sit back, observe, and see how they learn, and then you find a curriculum that suits their unique learning style, not someone else's unique learning style, not their brothers or their sisters or their cousin or someone else you saw on YouTube or some testimonial you saw from reading different curriculum. Just make sure you build a curriculum around your unique child as an individual, not as a homeschool family, but as the individual child. That's basically the best advice that I can give you on curriculum, because every family is not a book curriculum type of family like I am. A lot of people are electronic. They homeschool on the go. They do all their homeschooling online, and it's okay. You don't have to feel like you're not doing excellent, being an excellent homeschool mom or dad or grandpa, grandma, whoever homeschooling the children. You don't have to feel bad because you're not the traditional teacher like how I would do it or how someone else would do it. But the key thing is make sure that your child is learning, no matter what option that you choose, whether it's online or traditional, or you have somebody else come in and help you teach your children with a tutor or a co-op, however you want to do it. As long as your child is learning and they find some joy in what they're learning, then you're doing okay. And even if it's a new big thing that's out, if what you're doing is working for your children, your family, not only as a family, but as individually, your children is learning and they're enjoying what they're doing, there's no need for you to look out and try to pull and do other different resources when what you're doing is working. So my best advice is, if it's working, what you're doing is working, stick with it. No matter what you see everybody else doing, don't let it get into your head. Just stick with what you're doing. But if it's not working, by all means, figure out how your child learns and then tailor the curriculum around that individual child's needs, not his brother, his sister, or someone else you saw on YouTube. And then you will find that it will be much more refreshing. Your homeschool journey will be more fun. Your child or children will get more out of the homeschool. So don't get caught up in all the hoopla. It's going to be all right. We're on this homeschooling journey together, and just stay focused and remember why you started homeschooling in the first place. And then that will keep you centered, keep you focused, and you'll be able to be successful, because this is a process, but it's a blessing as well. So this is Tina again from Lakeshore Academy, just giving you a little bit of tips or advice on how to choose curriculum, not getting sidetracked when the curriculum is working by going out purchasing other curriculum when it's not necessary. But when it is necessary, make sure you make wise choices, because it can get very expensive and you don't want to waste money. Okay, talk to you later.